Well, Sri Lanka has honoured Prime Minister Modi with country's highest civilian award. Sri Lankan President Anura Dissanayake has said that he is pleased to announce that the government of Sri Lanka has decided to confer upon PM Modi the highest Sri Lankan honour, the Sri Lanka Mitra Vibhushana. Prime Minister Modi and the Sri Lankan President jointly inaugurated the Sampur solar power project virtually. PM Modi and Sri Lankan President Dissanayake also held delegation-level talks. Earlier, the PM was accorded a grand ceremonial welcome at the historic Independence Square in the heart of the Sri Lankan capital, in perhaps the first such honour to be given for a foreign leader. The PM was also received at the square by President Anura Dissanayake. The PM's visit to Sri Lanka comes at a time when the island nation is showing signs of recovery from the economic stress. Remember, India has, of course, provided a lot of assistance to Sri Lanka. Well, in fact, if we talk now about the Mitra Vibhushana medal, the Dharma Chakra reflects the shared Buddhist heritage that has shaped the cultural traditions of both nations. The Punkalas, adorned with sheaves of rice, symbolize prosperity and renewal. The Navratna represents the priceless and enduring friendship between the two countries, depicted within a globe encircled by pure lotus petals. Finally, the sun and moon signify the timeless bond, stretching from the ancient past into the infinite future. Remember, this is the 21st international honour for Prime Minister Modi. Meanwhile, the PM and Sri Lankan President have signed 7 MoUs, including the first defence deal. Maj Gen AK Siwach, defence expert, is joining us on the broadcast. Maj Gen Siwach, a big honour for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What does this signify for him personally and also for India-Sri Lanka relations?
There's no doubt. See, as far as India, Sri Lanka relations are upswing. There's no doubt. When Sri Lanka was in trouble, the time when they were defaulted, India was the first country which came and gave them a financial assistance for $4.5 billion. And that is the time when the China has shown a reluctance to help them out and was pressurizing Sri Lanka to sign a free trade agreement. And you see, the point is, after Dissanayake has taken over as a president, he visited India on December last, and the relationship are improving. We have signed 7 MoU, which are very important. First time a defense cooperation pact has been signed, and that will be a game changer. It means basically the security of both the countries intertwined, interlinked, and aligned with each other. That's a very correct message we are sending. And the second MoU, the energy sector, as far as India and Sri Lanka is concerned, Trimkoli will be made as an energy hub center, including adding a UAE, and jointly this will be now brought up in another about 5 to 7 years. And third important cheese was very important is basically the fishermen on the either side. India has been advocating that humanitarian angle should be taken as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, because number of fishermen which from India side, when they ventured, they are being arrested by the Sri Lankan, and this has been now accepted. At the same time, what the Sri Lankan is trying to convey is the deep trawling which is done by the Indians fishermen, because this basically disturb the marine ecosystem. I suppose India has also accepted that. We are trying to change. Overall, the relationship is on the upswing, and digitalization is another thing. Then basically currency swapping, debt restructuring has been also made public. And now Prime Minister Modi has been also given one of the highest civilian award, which is basically Mitra Vibhushana. So that is a very important thing. So what it shows is, as far as India-Sri Lanka relationship are concerned,
and let's just talk now about that award for a second. This is the 21st such international honour for PM Modi. What does that signify, Maj Gen Siwach?
See, the point is, today he has emerged as an international leader. No leader is as tall as Prime Minister Modi today. And out of this 21 highest awards which have been given by different countries, 8 are the Muslim countries. Now one can imagine how popular he is, how dynamic he is, and how much he is accepted all over the world. And he's a messiah of peace. And that's why, in Russia-Ukraine war, it was only Modi who could speak to the Russian president, also speak to president of Ukraine, and also can speak to the president of USA. No, therefore, basically what is happening is the acceptability of Modi as well as India as one of the tallest leader as far as India is concerned, are emerging economy. That's why we say today India is going to become a third largest economy in another about 2-3 years, and from fifth largest economy, fourth largest military power. So I can only say that it is not only Prime Minister Modi's charisma which is increasing over a period of time. It is the country charisma also increasing, and that's why it gives an impression to the world that in a multipolar world, India will play a major role. And in time to come, it will be a century of Asia, and also that it will show that India is now emerging as a major economic hub center and a military power, and which is having a charismatic leader, which is the tallest leader in the world. Uday.
All right, let me in fact quickly also take that across to you, to ask you, Maj Gen AK Siwach, now on the cooperation areas between India and Sri Lanka. We're learning that 7 MoUs have been signed between the two countries. Now this includes one on defense as well. The first defense deal has been concluded between the two countries. Now there have been murmurs about Sri Lanka also looking towards China. In that respect, how crucial is this meeting, this visit, this deal on defense, and also these various other MoUs as well?
The biggest problem between India and Sri Lanka over a period of time has been, we have been always advocating Sri Lanka that there are certain red lines as far as our defense is concerned. But unfortunately, that was not seen in the same spirit. And you find this Hambantota port has been given to China for 99 years lease. And China is increasing its presence in Indian Ocean. There are about 10 to 12 submarines always and every time there. And their survey ship is not a survey ship, but it is a surveillance ship which is coming to a lot of times coming into the ports of Sri Lanka. But after signing this defense cooperation pact, you will find it that there will be a binding as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, that they will align to ourselves in the cooperation which is required between India and Sri Lanka. And they have guaranteed now that they will not let any activity take place in that area, which is basically not to the interest of Indian defense pact. So I suppose it is a very good, you can say, beginning. And Sri Lanka has realized that this is the red line of India, and they will abide by it. So far, they have never signed a defense cooperation pact. They were always doing dilly-dally, but we have put up pressure, and they have realized that. And more than anything else, it is a voluntary two-way traffic, and we have also given them assurance that we always stand by the Sri Lanka, whether it is the problem when they had during COVID time, when we provided them a medicine. Thereafter, they had a financial problem. We provided them financial assistance, and therefore Sri Lanka should also see our red lines, especially in Indian Ocean, because Sri Lanka is lying on a hub center where about 60 to 70% of the world trade go through Indian Ocean. I suppose this defense cooperation pact will be a game changer. It is a force multiplier. It will make sure that Indian interest is also taken care of by Sri Lanka, and especially when it comes to China, because you can imagine that Hambantota is already given, but certainly now they will ensure in time to come they will not let any activities take place in Sri Lankan soil which is amicable to the interest of India. I suppose that's a very good move. The second thing is the energy sector. Energy sector is where India can tremendously help Sri Lanka. We are now giving them the LNG.
Professor Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, is also in fact joining us now on the broadcast.